Hi guys, I'm Ben, and in today's video we're going to cover Law 3 of Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. This one is conceal your intentions. So what this one's really about, as it kind of is in the name of the law, is you don't want to let people know what you're doing, what you're thinking. You don't want to let everyone know about all the moves that you are going to make and what your ultimate goal is. You want to keep that information private. You want to keep it to yourself. Now, this one can be a little bit difficult. You spend a lot of time with the people that you're working with, and you want to be naturally open, transparent, and discuss the things that you are working on, that you're aspiring to. But as we kind of get into, this can be a little bit dangerous. So it's one that you kind of need to work against your normal human nature to tell and share and show. And for the things that are truly important, you need to keep that information just to yourself. So there's three key reasons why this is really important. The first is when people know your intentions, they can use them to hurt you, to try and sabotage you or manipulate you. So a really good example here is if you tell everyone that there's a job that you really want to go for, and an enemy, someone that's not wishing you well, they could use this information to sabotage you. They could spread information about you. They could spread negative information about you, usually lies. They could start rumors about you. They could make a couple of offhand comments that portray you in a negative light to the hiring manager or people in that team. What causes them to do this, obviously, is their animosity towards you, but you're giving them the opportunity to do this by sharing this very important information beyond yourself. You're telling everyone around you that this thing is important, and you need to remember that there are people that want to take important things away from you, things that you're aspiring to. This is the role that you have to understand, that there are enemies, and this is what they do. The other way that they can do this is that they can use this information to lead you astray. They can promise that job that you've told people that you really want and get you to do other things for them. They can manipulate you. They can say, hey, I'll put in a good word if you do this for me. It is natural to share this type of information, to be open and transparent, but what you need to understand is that you are opening the armor. You are revealing a vulnerability and a weakness, and you're putting a lot of trust and potentially your achievement of this goal, these aspirations that you have, in other people's hands. The second reason why this is really important is that concealing your intentions gives you an upper hand in situations where you are required to negotiate. Now, as you progress in your career and in life, you realize that there are a lot of things that actually, at their core, are negotiations. When we start out in life and in work, we think that negotiations are commercial agreements. They're when you're buying a house or when you're buying a car. But you learn soon enough that almost every interaction in a work context is some type of negotiation, particularly when you are looking at it from the perspective of power dynamics. Now, what you want to do here by concealing your intentions is you don't want to give away what your goal, what your aim is, because when the other party knows this in a negotiation, they know the thing that you really want, they get the upper hand. They know where the goalposts are, the thing that you're willing to do. And so they know where you aren't willing to move beyond. You, conversely, don't know what they really want. And so they have all the cards and you have none. And you're putting yourself in a really bad position. So now when you think that there is a lot of aspects of life that is a negotiation, by concealing this information, you're trying to keep the playing field as beneficial to you as possible. Make sure that you know what they want, but that they don't know what you really want. The third point around why this is important is one I think a lot of people really do miss when they read the 48 Laws of Power, or when they kind of think about the application of this law specifically. And that's if you are really upfront and very vocal and direct about your intention, you lose a lot of trust, or probably more accurately, you lose the ability to start building trust and goodwill. If you're telling people that you're only in the situation or the conversation for one particular thing, you're losing the ability to build rapport with them, to understand, hey, how does this work for both of us? What you want to come across is as strategic. You want to try and constantly find common ground. Now, sometimes you can reveal a little bit of information around what you're after, but when you're being very direct and very upfront, you're not building that type of relationship that can be beneficial to you. It would be like going into an interview and the person and the interviewer says to you, "What do you want?" And you just outrightly say, "I'm going to be really transparent. I just want more money and my current role isn't giving it to me, so I want more money from you." This is not going to get you a positive outcome in the interview. There are times when it can be refreshing to add a little bit of direct honesty, but these are things that you need to season the conversation with and the interactions with. They shouldn't be the main dish. What you want to focus on is, rather than being very upfront and very direct in this sense, you want to build the reputation both in your own mind but also with your peers that you are shrewd and strategic. You want to use information for the currency that it is, and just by giving it up, you're giving it away. Now that we've gone through what Law 3 is and why it's important, now let's get into how to actually apply it. There's 4 key principles that you need to think about when applying this law. The first principle is keep your intentions hidden. Now this one is a little bit of a giveaway, given what this law is, conceal your intentions. But when you are actually applying it, you want to give away as little information as possible. This means that you need to avoid sharing goals and aspirations, specifically if they relate to power, with the people around you and above you. You need to be very, very strategic and discreet on how you use this information about yourself and who you share it with. It is very important information. People knowing what you are planning to do, where you're planning to go, and how you're intending to get there is very important information. So you need to start treating it as important information. Keep it to yourself. Keep it hidden. Keep it safe. The second principle is using misdirection. Now, the law is concealing your intentions, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't say anything. Remember, information is currency, and while you want to save it, you also want to be spending it too. You want to be making the information work for you. And so the typical example here is in a negotiation. You might want to give the other party the impression that you don't really want the deal, that the object that you're trying to negotiate for, a car, a house, is something that you could really kind of take it or leave it. Now, on the inside, this might be something that's really important to you, that things might be dire, you really need a car for tomorrow, the house is really important, it's a commercial deal, and you really need it to achieve your target, but you don't want to give that information to the other party. You know yourself, if you're selling something and you know that other person really needs the thing, you're going to jack up the price. You're not going to give it away for free. You know that there is demand for it and you are the only supplier in that transaction. It's a lot of information to have. So when you flip it around the other way, why give up that type of information? You don't. You want to conceal it, but you also might want to use misdirection to give the impression of an outcome that is favorable to you. You could take it or leave it, because the outcome there for the other person of you taking it or leaving it might mean that they need to step up. They might want to get rid of it a little bit more keenly than you, or at the very least, they're not going to hurt you by increasing the price or requesting additional terms because they know it's something that you really want. The third principle is observing and listening. Now that you got a bit of an appreciation for how important it is to conceal your intentions because of what they convey, you need to start looking and listening to understand other people's intentions. By observing them closely and picking up on this, you are gaining information that is very important strategically. You are understanding what is the goal, what is this person actually trying to do, what are they trying to get out of this interaction, or more broadly, where are they going? This is information that if your enemies can get it, it can hurt you. But if you can get it of your enemies, it can benefit you. Or if you're a little bit more Machiavellian, it can enable you to actually hurt them. Just as I was saying in the previous point around a negotiation, by being able to observe that someone is actually very keen for this deal, that they need to buy this thing from you, that is important information in the negotiation. It enables you to extract a higher transaction cost, to get more conditions that you want in the agreement. What it really does is it allows you to gain additional information from the other person that they are not aware that they're potentially giving you, and allow you to capitalize on it. The final principle here is being strategic. Now, this is a bit of a capstone for the other three that we've just discussed, and all it is around bringing it all together. You need to be strategic on how you treat information, both the information that you put out into the world and the information that you take in from it. You need to think about your goals and think long term. You need to think about what information is important and that you shouldn't share. Where are you trying to go, and where are the people around you? How are they kind of involved in that dynamic? You can use information to work for you. You can use misinformation. You can tell people that you're not interested when you are. You can tell someone that you're interested in one thing when it's something completely different. This is very important in terms of how you play the game. You need to start being steps ahead of other people. And the way that you do this is you plan. You understand your goals. You understand how you're going to get there. Now, usually people think that means that they go, I'm going to do this thing, and then this thing, and then this thing. And it's a very linear pathway to get to their goal. That may be in your mind, but the things that you need to say and do are going to be a little bit more windy. There are some people that you need to impress. There are some people that you need to get on your side. There are some people that you need to not let them know that you're actually coming. All of this is around information, concealing your true intentions, but potentially revealing ones that are beneficial for you, but actually work for you. You should always be several steps ahead of other people, of your enemies, of your peers. You always need to be planning and thinking. And the things that you need to do is understand that information is currency. You need to be hiding your true intentions. You need to be manipulating the people around you to misdirect them. And you need to be observant and understanding the information that they are giving you, whether passively, directly, indirectly, but that is actually truly revealing their intentions, what they are trying to do. It is important information for you as you climb up the ladder. So to wrap this one up, obviously this one is around hiding your intentions. Now the reason why this is important is that people can use your intentions against you. Hiding your intentions can also be beneficial for you, but when you're being too open with them, it can actually be a thing that hurts the relationships with the people around you. Now, in terms of applying this one, we have 4 key principles. The first is keep your intentions hidden. Use misdirection to make information work for you. Observe and listen to try and understand the intentions of your enemies. And as a capstone, you need to learn how to be strategic, how to apply this in all the different scenarios of the information that you keep back, of what you put out into the world, but also what you take in to learn information about the people that you are competing against. And that's a wrap on this one, guys. If you like the video, please hit like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you next time.